Is over. Did you make it out healthy?
Yes, fairly healthy. I thought we had, I think, 52 or 56 plays, and nothing really happened today. We had some guys that were, nicked up a little bit that we got back. I think didn't Josh Walker practice a little bit last couple of days, but not today. He's got kind of a calf strain, but for the most part, the guys who entered spring are pretty healthy.
You had John Javes now for a whole spring. I know there was some discussion about transitioning to an attacking mentality as opposed to read and react. What kind of impact have you seen that make on this defense?
Well, I think you see it's just a different defense from a philosophically it's different. More of a get up the field, one gap oriented front instead of trying to two gap and read and react. And so I think it plays to the strength of some of our guys. I know that their defensive ends are really happy, so they're cutting it loose. And I thought Deshaun Hall made some strides too. Because he looks different. He's carrying his weight. He's got a whole nother summer this summer to really get strong for the first time. So those two guys, if they continue to improve, can really help us defensively from a pass rush standpoint. And disrupt some things. So, yeah, the tough part is, a lot of our linebackers, the guys who are projected starters, we really didn't have this spring, but the front was pretty good. Tara Laka will be back in the fall, A.J. Hilliard, Josh Walker. So we've got some pieces. I thought Richard Moore, for a high school guy that should be going to prom next month, did pretty well this spring. And you keep forgetting that he and Christian Kirk, those guys are, they haven't even, they're freshmen, but they're not really freshmen yet. So I was pleased. We got a lot of work with guys that needed some reps, and the primary things just were those trying to get some numbers in our secondary, trying to work out who's who in the offensive line. Mike Matthews being out really gave us the opportunity to work Stuckey in there. And really he developed, and so Stuckey's put himself in a position to be a backup center and compete for a starting guard spot. So we've got some pieces in place. Now the challenge is we move on to the off-season conditioning, and back to the summer workouts, get stronger, make sure our weights are where they need to be for when we hit the ground in the fall, and then solidify. Really want to get a solid 22 on each side this year. That's where we are.
You haven't seen Speedy lately. What is the reason for that?
Speedy's got some things he's got to complete. We had a discussion actually a week ago Monday. So he'll be back this week, but we've asked him to do some things, and while he's doing that, he's been away from the program.
It's not health related?
No.
Has he responded well, Coach? Has he responded well to that, Kevin?
What's that?
Has he responded well to that, do you feel? So
Yeah, I think so. He's doing what we ask him to do. So, there's more to it than just playing football. And, just like everybody else, there's guys mature at different times, and sometimes, you have to put some things in place to make sure guys really understand what's expected of them, and sometimes, when you take football away from them and get them away from the team a little bit, the point's made. So yeah, he's doing what we've asked him to do, and I would look for him to be back with us sometime this week.
This is a Texas Football Magazine kind of big picture question, but are you pleased with where you are going into your fourth season with this program? Are you where you? I know you're not where you want to be, but are you pleased with the direction we're headed?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're, we've got a lot of pieces. We got a lot of pieces that are coming in. I think, philosophically, we've made some changes this spring that I think are going to help us defensively, obviously, and offensively, run game wise. So. Philosophically, yeah, I think we're in really good shape. I think our coaching staff is excellent. I think we're starting to add depth. This will be real important just to see. In June, I'll have a better feel for where we are. Like I said, we've got pieces. A lot of them didn't practice. So I look up on that board. You got your 3 starting linebackers out, and your center's out. Trey Carson's out. Our leading touchdown guy's out, Josh Reynolds. So, that's the bad news. The good news is, in a spring like this, we were able to develop a Stuckey or develop some of these other guys like Richard Moore, and some of these. We got more reps. I thought James White came to the forefront because he's a bigger back. He's in between those guys. So the negative, is those guys are out, but a lot of those guys we know they can play. So the positive was, as frustrating as a coach, you got a lot of young guys, but they got a lot of snaps, and so they'll be better for it. So you would like to think that going in the fall we've created more depth with the football team just by getting guys back healthy and the other guys practicing before the new guys even get here.
What about Cal Allen as far as his maturity and then his physicality, taking all the snaps this spring?
Yeah, I think he's going to continue to get better. I told Jake the other day I got to kick myself. I keep forgetting he's only been here a year and 2 months. It's like the guy's been here forever. So, and he's only started 4 games, 5 games, at that. So I'm as hard on him as anybody, but he really, he's a young guy. So I have to hold myself back because I'm talking to him like he's been here for 3 years and he should understand this and that, and to his credit, part of the reason for that is how he responds, and he's a very mature kid, which you guys know. That's kind of a oxymoron, huh? Mature kid. I'm usually not that bad. See, you guys usually catch that. I didn't. Somebody will catch it on the internet. But but the way he conducts himself, he's very mature, and so his ability to talk with you, So during the off season, I think the big deal for him is going to be, all right, the leadership role, okay, which I think he established himself. Let's not take for granted he's the MVP of the bowl game. And for a young guy that's come through, roughly August 15th, I told him he wasn't started, and he won't admit it, but he was in tears. He went down the hall to starting and becoming the MVP of the bowl game. That's a lot for a young guy. So it increased his confidence. Now the off-field leadership's got to come, and as we get away from coaches, the quarterbacks start to run things a lot more in the off-season with 7-on-7s and things. So it'll naturally push those guys and push him into more of a leadership role.
Do you think corners are heading in the right direction?
I thought Devontae, 180 pounds, which it's a miracle, I think, because he's. We've been on him since he's been here, and that's another one of those deals. Time's ticking, so all of a sudden the guy looks up. You can yell at him all you want, and then you look up and he's like, "Man, I got one more year of football." So he practiced very well this spring. I thought Victor Davis showed some signs of getting better, and we've got to have some other guys come on. Whether it's Tavares Garner, guys like that have showed flashes but haven't been consistent. And that's what the offseason's for. That's those positions, unlike really offensive line or defensive line, the skill guys can work at their craft all summer and throwing, catching, running, covering. I've seen guys make dramatic improvement in the offseason, and particularly now that we've got a scheme in, they've been coached, they know what's on the video, they know what the calls are, and now they can go out and play. So, we'll continue to develop them.
Have you been pleased with Noel Ellis trying to figure out how to play with sickness and coming back?
Yeah, he's a tough guy. He's a guy that's, was almost, I hate to say it, almost died last year. We didn't know what was going on with him, and just lost a bunch of weight, and so admitted him in the hospital, but he's back now, battling, gained his weight back, and just a heck of an athlete and a tough guy. So, he's one of those guys that he just keeps going out there on the field. He wants to play badly, and so whether it's nickel, corner, and we'll have flexibility, particularly with the first game, to probably play some more nickel and dime with some open sets. So, the importance to develop, 5 corners I think will be important that can play, and because I think our safety play will be dramatically improved. I thought, Armani finished up very well, and Donovan Wilson, there's another deal. Didn't get to practice this whole spring after shoulder surgery, so we were able to get our junior college guys in there and get them some snaps. So, I think secondary-wise, we've got to come on at corner. I think we'll be pretty solid at safety.
For clarity, is it type 1 diabetes? Is that what?
I think so. Yes. Yeah. But he's got a deal where he's, we've had some times where he's had to come off the field, but he's a kid that I don't know that I'd still be playing like that with what happened, but we keep an eye on him. He loves to play the game, and I'm glad he's on our team.
One more. Pretty dramatic difference last year in the stadium with everything that went on. How much are you looking forward to the completed version this fall?
It's interesting. I see it every day because we're redoing our offices. So I'm my office. I shouldn't tell people because they haven't found me.
That's right.
It's over in the zone, so which is great because nobody knows where we are. Now they do, but I'm over in the suite in the zone, in the north zone, and so every day since it's the whole for the last 2 months I've watched the whole thing come up, and since every day I want to tweet a picture, but since I can't, I might. Chancellor got on us last year about that, so I'm keeping it down. It's going to be great, and I'm a lot less worried about this year than I was last year because there's only one side, and if they got one side in the end zone done last year, surely we can get this one done before we play Ball State.